Hi all, today we are going to discuss the market structure monopolistic competition. So looking at these pictures, you can get some examples from the market. What kind of examples you can take from the market for the monopolistic competition structure? So there are some examples you can see: show repairs and key makers shops, taxi and minibus companies, sandwich and coffee stores, dry cleaners and laundries, hairdressing saloons, bars, nightclubs, likewise lot of shops available in the market you can see are examples for the monopolistic competition. Then we will see what are the characteristics of monopolistic competition. Actually, there are mainly four distinguishing characteristics. First one is there are many sellers. Actually, this is very similar to the perfect market structure because there are also many sellers. So many sellers, and they do not take into account rivals' reactions. Second characteristic is product differentiation. This is actually different than the perfect competition structure because in the perfect competition they are selling identical products with many sellers, but here many sellers is okay, but they are selling different products. Means that the products have some different features. Where the goods that are sold are homogeneous as in perfect competition. Third feature is multiple dimensions of competition. Actually, this make it harder to analyze a specific industry, but these methods of competition follow the same two-dimension rules as price competition. There can be different dimensions for the competition. Likewise, price competition, geographically, any kind of multiple dimensions can be there because their products are different. That's the reason for that. The next feature is ease of entry of new firms in the long run. This is very similar to the perfect competition market because there are no entry-exit barriers. The same feature is there in the monopolistic competition structure. So there are no barriers to entry or exit. Then we will see output, price and profit of a monopolistic competitor. So there is a similarity between monopoly and the monopolistic competitor. Let's see what is that. Actually, like a monopoly, the monopolistic competitive firm has some monopoly power. The name itself, it clues us that the monopolistic competitor structure, they have some monopoly power. So the firm faces a downward sloping demand curve, not like the perfect competitor's horizontal demand curve. As they have some power to decide the price of a product, they face a downward sloping demand curve. But the difference between the demand curve of a monopoly and the monopolistic competitor is the demand curve of a monopoly, as we discussed in the earlier lesson. It is very slow, steep. It is very steep. because one seller is in the market. But here there are a lot of sellers. Therefore, these monopolistic competitors also face downward sloping demand curve, but it's not steep as monopoly structure. Otherwise, both demand curves are downward sloping, or the steepness is different. When you look at the marginal revenue in a monopolistic competitor, it is below the price. Marginal revenue is below the price. And also at profit maximizing output, as we usually use MR equal MC, marginal revenue equals MC, then the marginal cost will be less than the price. It helps them to make profits in the short run. Like a perfect competitor, there's zero economic profit exit in the long run, because in the short run only they can produce profits. Since they have the feature exitative barriers, no exitative barriers, in the long run, the sellers, lot of sellers, outside sellers will attract into the structure, the market, and they will enter to grab the profit available in the short run, and finally it will be balanced, and finally they will end up with the zero economic profits or normal profits in the long run, right? Then we will compare the perfect competition and monopolistic competition. There may be some similarities as we discussed now, also some differences. Okay, let's see. When you consider the number of sellers, perfect competition and the monopolistic competition, there are many sellers. The feature is similar for both structures. The next, free entry exit. Yes, of course, the perfect competition, they have free entry exits feature, and the same feature is here monopolistic competition. Then next, long run economic profits. Again, the both structure, they will earn zero profits, zero economic profits. It's another similarity. Then the products firms sell, but it is different actually. For the perfect competition, you know, the products they sell are identical, but monopolistic competition, there are some differences in the product they sell. That's why they can compete, that's why they have competition. And the next feature, firm has market power. As we all know, the perfect competition, they have no power because the products are identical and there are a lot of sellers and buyers, so they have to act as a price taker. They have to take the price which decided by the market demand and the supply, but not like that monopolistic competition. They have to decide, they have the power to decide the price. So monopolistic competition structure, that firms has market power, yes. And looking at their demand curve phasing, the demand curve, perfect competition, it is a horizontal line, but the monopolistic competition is a downward sloping demand curve. We will have a comparison with monopolistic competition with the monopoly structure. The number of sellers, the monopoly, they have one seller. But monopolistic competition, there are many sellers. Free entry exit feature, monopoly, actually there are no. Monopolistic competition, it is equal to the perfect competition, yes. The long run economic profits, for the monopolistic competition, there are no economic profits in the long run. But monopoly, since they are having a lot of power with the sole seller, they have positive profits in the long run even. The firm has market power. Monopoly, yes, they have market power because they are the only seller. Monopolistic competition, again, they have market power because they can decide the price for their products because they are different than the other sellers. Then the demand curve shape. Monopoly downward sloping, but it's very steep downward sloping. Monopolistic competition, it's again downward sloping, but not much steep like monopoly. But it's similar. Usually it's downward sloping for both structures. Close substitutes. For the monopoly structure, it is no substitute because one seller is there, only that seller is selling the product, so no substitutes provided by other sellers. But monopolistic competition, a lot of substitutes maybe, there are many. So monopolistic competition and the monopoly in the short run, under the monopolistic competition, firm behavior is very similar to monopoly. It means that they can earn either economic profit, abnormal profit or abnormal losses. It's very similar to the monopoly. But in the long run, the monopoly firms, they earn abnormal profits even, but monopolistic competition, they earn only economic profit or normal profit, which economic profit is equal to 0. The reason behind this, they are entry-exit, no entry-exit barriers. If profits in the short run, new firms enter market, this is what happening, and finally in the long run they will end up with normal profits. Because of the free entry exit feature, the new firms enter to the market and taking some demand away from the exiting firms, and prices and profits falls. And if losses in the short run, the other way, because some firms exit from the market, and remaining firms enjoy higher demand and price. Then we will see what it looks like in a diagram when they earn abnormal profit. Monopolistic competitive firms, abnormal profit. Actually, this is very similar to the monopoly structure. You can see the demand curve, and the MR curve lies below the demand curve, and the MC is there. So usually, as per the profit maximization rule, we had to choose the point where MC equal MR. MC equal MR. So the point is here. This is the point. So through that point, you can find the quantity they are selling, and straight forward this line to the demand curve, and go to the vertical axis of price. There you can find the price they charge. And there is C curve which lies below the price, and you can see that MC is intersecting the minimum point of ATC, average cost curve. And you can find the average cost of a product using the same line where it intersects the AC curve. Then go to the price vertical axis. So you can see now the price they charge and cost of a product. So there is a difference. The price is higher than the cost. So this is the profit they earn. This is the profit they earn. This is abnormal profit in the short run of a monopolistic competitive firm. Same as in the short run, they can earn economic losses or abnormal losses. It is also similar to the graph of the monopoly firm, right? Here only difference is their ATC lies above the demand curve, then definitely their cost will be higher than the price they charge. The same way you have to find the profit maximizing point, MC equal MR is the point. So through that point you can draw the line straight up to the ATC and the demand. So when it cuts the demand, intersect the demand curve, it's the price they charge, and when it intersects with the AC curve, this is the cost. So you can see the cost is higher than the price they charge. Because of that, they earn loss here. They earn loss here. Their normal profits, even in the short run, they can have normal profits. The only thing is here the ATC will tangent to the demand curve. Because of that, their price and the cost both will be equal. Both will be equal. You can see the average cost curve is tangent to the demand curve, not like in the former cases. The same way, profit maximizing method, MR equal MC, the profit maximizing point is here. Through that you can draw up to the demand curve. The same point ATC curve will touch the or tangible to the demand curve on the same point. Because of that, the price and the average cost of a product will be same. So there are no profit or loss. They will earn just income to cover up their cost. It means that they earn only normal profits. So this is the same case what happened in the long run. Monopolistic competitive structure, the firms, they earn normal profits. Because of the entry and exit occurs until price equal to average cost, price equal to average cost, the profit will be 0. Here actually what is happening is that the firm charges a markup of price over marginal cost. It means that their marginal cost is this much and does not produce at a minimum ATC. This is similar to the normal profit case in the short run also. The AC curve tangent to the demand curve intersecting point. Then next lesson we will discuss about the oligopoly market structures. So thank you very much.